I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I've been very mixed with the MCU lately. Phase 5 has been so inconsistent that I had no idea how to feel with Thunderbolts. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania was bad. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was really good. The Marvels was meh. Deadpool and Wolverine was great. Captain America Brave New World was a whatever. And then Thunderbolts. After seeing the trailer and the teaser for Thunderbolts, I actually had hope for this. But I still wanted to keep my guard up because I had no idea if this movie was going to be good or bad. This is Marvel we're talking about. And I can proudly say, oh my, this movie is actually really, really good. Thunderbolts is Marvel's attempt at making a Suicide Squad-ish movie featuring a bunch of criminals who hate each other but are needing to come together in order to fight the person who sends them to kill each other. It's a very simple premise, it's grounded, and Marvel has actually been needing that lately. A simple yet effective premise, and this movie is exactly that. Thunderbolts Asterix is a really good movie and one of the better Marvel movies, and honestly, you can make an argument that this is one of the best movies since Endgame. This movie does have a bit of a darker tone though, tackling about mental health struggles and depression and loneliness, and how these group of characters come through with it. Speaking of, every single character of the Thunderbolts is actually really likable. Yelena, who was someone who I liked in Black Widow, was the most interesting character in this movie. She is dealing with depression and a lack of purpose. Well, she has jobs of being an assassin, but she does it because she was told to, and not for herself or for others she cares about. And she's essentially coming back home to no one. She just wants to have a purpose and not feel alone, especially after losing her sister in the events of Endgame. And her struggling to find purpose is something I feel would resonate with a lot of viewers. It's very clear that she is the main character of this movie, and I'm gonna say it, Yelena is infinitely more interesting than Romanoff ever was. I liked her more than her sister in her own movie.
This thing that you do when you whip your hair when you're fighting with the arm and the hair, and you do like a fighting pose. It's a fighting pose. You're a total poser.
Romanoff was that uninteresting. Anyway, with Yelena and her loneliness, there's a really touching scene before the final battle where she talks to her dad, the Red Guardian, saying how she is lonely and how now that she has a missing sister, she wishes for someone to fight for her, and then opening up to say how much she misses her own father. The way Florence Pugh vents and just lets out her yearning for purpose is really heartbreaking. That scene really resonates with me, and I'm sure it'll resonate with others. Speaking of her father, the Red Guardian is really likable in this movie. He is the group's Russian smash and bash, which is to be expected off of his character. But he also has a really caring center of just wanting to make everyone in the Thunderbolts to push themselves and to answer the calling of being better. And all of these people all wish to redeem themselves. Like John Walker. I really disliked him in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Not because he's a poorly written character, but the fact that he was so absorbed in being Captain America, he was tarnishing the very legacy of the title, which is the very same reason why I loved him in that show. He wanted to do good, he wanted to be a hero, but he was so flawed in his way of trying to be one that it led to his downfall. Him getting an opportunity to do good in this movie is something I really, really liked, and I'm actually excited to see more of him. Bucky, on the other hand, is a little less interesting. It was revealed in Brave New World he is now a congressman, and we see very little of that in this movie. I would have liked to see more of him and the politics side of superheroes in this world. Also, side note, that car fight scene was really cool. The other characters, Ghost, while I do say she was an improvement overall compared to Ant-Man and the Wasp, she was kind of just there. I didn't mind seeing her here, but I wish we got more of her rather than just feeling like a background character. Bob, or really Sentry, this isn't spoilers, you've seen the trailers, is honestly just depressing. Like, this man just wanted to be more, but he is so mentally unstable that he is confused on which side to take, and eventually when the villain manipulates him, you want him to prove his worth, but at the same time, you don't want him seeing hurting his newfound friends. Speaking of which, I want to see more of Baba and Yelena together and having a bit of a sibling relationship with each other moving forward in the MCU. Their chemistry in this movie was actually really sweet. And the villain. Just like John Walker in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, where I said I hated him so much that I actually liked him, that's the villain Valentina de Fontaine. This politician is just so hateable that I actually like her as a villain. I really hated seeing her just weave through everything and lying to make herself look better. That's actually the most realistic part about this movie. It's a politician lying and manipulating others to come out on top. Overall, these characters are what makes this movie work so well. And their struggles to find redemption, a second chance, and wanting to be free from whatever mental health struggles they're having is what I find really powerful. Also, what I find really cool is that this movie was released on Mental Health Awareness Month, so do with that with what you will. Is there other stuff that this movie did well? Like I said it with the characters, this is one of the few films where there is actual themes. And the more I think about it, I think the last major Marvel movie that had an actual theme or topic to dive into was Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, where in there it was more about animal abuse. This is kind of an unrelated compliment, but the marketing for this movie is really good. Like, once you find out why the movie is called Thunderbolts asterisk, it makes complete sense why the movie was marketed that way. And another compliment to give to this movie is that the actions are very well thought out, and rather than the usual generic and bland CGI battles we always see in their shows and their movies, the fights here are used sparingly, but are very well put together, and it's a case of quality over quantity. The final fight is really good, however I did have one issue with it. Once it's over, there is very little room for the movie to breathe and show us the aftermath for these characters. Like, yes, we do see something in the post-credit scene, but it is very short in the main movie. Like, final fight is over, 3 minutes later, credits roll. I would have liked to actually have a little bit more time with these characters, please. Anyhow, I don't really have much else to add to Thunderbolts. I think it's a really good movie. It makes me extremely hopeful for the future of the MCU. And all I'm asking, Marvel, please do not mess up the Fantastic Four nor Avengers Doomsday. I'm giving this movie a really nice 8 out of 10. Go watch it.